good night. Have one done tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight. Um, and we're gonna start with trials start for Aaron Dean. Former Fort Worth police officer. Who fatally shot Angelina, Jefferson in her home. And this happened like 2019. So the murder trials of the former, Fort Worth police officer who fatally shot Angelina Jefferson in front of her young nephew, that were 8 years old. So in her Texas home, and this happened like 2019. Now she got shot, and her nephew, 8 years old, was right there witness. So Aaron Dean, was charged with murder after firing into a black woman's bedroom through a window. So he shot her through her window. So the shooting was witnessed by her nephew that was 8 years old. So Judge, had issued a gang order for the trial. Which is expected to last for 2 weeks. So Dean he pleaded not guilty, to a murder charge, which in Texas carry a sentence for 5 to 90, 99 years. So the police responded to Jefferson house around 2:25 a.m. in the morning, on October the 12th, 2019. So after a neighbor reported her door was open, so her door was open in the middle of the night. Remember he came like 2:25 in the morning. So the neighbor called a non-emergency police number to ask for a safety check, at Jefferson House. That was a concerned neighbor. She saw the door was open like in the middle of the night. So she called for a safety check, which was a good idea. Because other than that, they would have never known that she was in there, you know, um, in that condition like that. So heavily added, to body camera, footage that showing officer, peering through two open doors, but he did not announce, his presence. So when he went to a house, he didn't announce, he didn't identify that he was a police, you know. So instead, he walked around the house for about a minute, So thank God, the nephew was not harmed. So I don't know where he was at when he saw all this going on, but thank God he's still here. Eventually the officer approached a window and shine a flashlight, into what appears to be a dark room. Because of her and her nephew, they was playing the game, so they were playing the game. So that's why they flashed the flashlight. It was a dark room because they probably was in a whole nother room playing the game. So he stated, put your hands up, you know, show me your hands. And the officer yelled before firing a single shot. Recalling to the body camera, footage, he did not identify who he is. Because if you tell someone to put your hands up, you have to identify that you are a police. You have to show, even though you have a uniform on, you still have to identify, that you on duty. So you have to identify who you are, regardless in a uniform, because when you say put your hands up, you got to give them the rights and all that. And first you have to identify who you are before you do those procedures. Now, as a police at any point in a video, remember he got his body camera off. So in the video, claim from the officer flashlight make it difficult to see anyone in the window. you know. So how, so they're saying, like on the body cam, the room was dope. So how he saw anybody do anything to shoot through the window. So Jefferson is, she was 28 years old. She was pronounced dead a minute later. And her nephew will later tell an investigator, his aunt after hearing the noise outside. So she heard the noise outside and had taken out a handgun from her purse and pointed it towards the window. So Jefferson had been playing video games with her nephew, and when the shooting was widely condemned, with the National Black Police Associated saying in a statement, the killing of a black citizen, you know, by a white officer had reached critical mass. You you know, so forward, Major Bessie Price at the time said Jefferson killing was unjustified, and unacceptable, because if anyone hear noise around in front of their house like that, anybody, we're gonna try to grab something for their protection, if they're gonna try to get in their house or not. So the police initiated said the officer fired his gun after perceiving a threat. So the officer provided medical care after the shooting occurred to the police. Now her name was I can't pronounce her name. I can't pronounce her name, but she Miss Jefferson. The man who shot her was through a window. His name was Aaron Dean. Now he did not identify himself, you know, um, as the police at any point in the video. So he fired into a black woman's bedroom through a window. This killing was witnessed by her nephew that was 8 years old. Heavily edited the body camera footage, and she was 28 years old, and she had pronounced dead. Minutes later. So now this happened. This happened too many times. Of a cop, shooting a black woman in their house. We already had Bianca that we still trying to deal with. She got shot in her house. That didn't do no harm. Because if you in your house minding your business, you know, all of a sudden, you just getting shot for no, per reason when no threat, no nothing is going on. So this has happened too many times of a black woman is getting shot in her home. So our police should not be shooting through a window unless you got a phone call stating that in that particular apartment is having some disturbance, or somebody ran in their house, that did something wrong, But a lot of times these victims is in their house, either laying down in their bed or in their house doing other things in their house, and a lot of black women are getting killed in their home, you know, and getting shot through her window. But on the body camera, it's showing that the room was so dark how he saw anyone in the window. So when you bust in a door, when you go in someone's home, you're supposed to identify who you are before you even tell them to put their hands up. You know, you have to identify who you are when you busting through anything. You don't tell someone to put their hands up without identifying who you are. So on the body camera, they stated that he told her to put her hands up without identifying who he is. So this is unjustified and unacceptable. All police should have a body camera on. He had a body camera on, but a lot of pieces was added. You know, at all time, all these they have to make sure all these body cameras is in good tech when they on the street on duty. Because this save a whole lot of investigation if the body camera is working function. You know, so we talking about another black woman. They got shot in her home, and her 8-year-old nephew witnessed his auntie, got shot and then died right in front of his face. You know, so this is happening too many times. Because these police have to really identify who you are. I don't know if he got a phone call or some disturbance at their house. But you have to identify who you are and make sure that that's the correct house that you got a call about. Because this has happened too many times. An innocent person is getting killed in their home, minding their business. So thank God that the neighbor saw the door open. But And the neighbor the one called 911, to go check for safety, safety check. So thank God the neighbor was up that time of morning to notice anything, because who knows how long she would have been in there unless the nephew would have called 911. So when they have cases like that, you know, cases like that, I mean, these police have to really identify who they are. We have too many black women being innocent getting killed in their home. So just Bessie Price, she said, the killing was unjustified and it was unacceptable. You know, so because it happened too many times. For a black woman, innocent getting killed in her home. You know, so we um we gonna make sure all the body cameras are working properly before y'all go on y'all post. Because it'll save a whole lot of investigation. If your body camera are working properly. Because his body camera, it was just so dark. They don't understand what he saw in the window because they can't see nothing with the body camera. They said the room was so dark on the camera. So that's all the short news I have for y'all on tonight. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Have a blessed night.